It wasn't supposed to walk that path, but it went where no one else dares. A honey badger, fearless by nature, relentless by design, pushes deeper into a rocky ravine where the ground itself seems to breathe. It doesn't search for trouble. Trouble simply finds those who are unafraid of it. And today, the earth beneath its paws is hiding something ancient, something patient, something that does not forgive a single mistake. The air is dry and heavy, the kind of stillness that doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means everything is about to. The badger moves low and steady, nose close to the ground, reading the earth the way others read the sky. It has been walking since before the sun reached its peak. It is not tired. It is never really tired. That is perhaps the most remarkable thing about this animal. Not its strength, not its skin, but its absolute refusal to stop. Other animals rest when they are safe. The honey badger rests when it decides to, and today it has not decided. The ravine narrows ahead. The walls close in on both sides, pale stone baked dry by years of sun. Shadows pool in the crevices. The ground is cracked and uneven, scattered with loose rock and fine dust that rises in small clouds with every step. This is the kind of place most animals avoid by instinct. Something in the landscape whispers a warning that most creatures obey without question. The honey badger walks in anyway. The first one appears without warning. A cobra, hood spread wide, rises from between two stones like smoke taking shape. It holds its position, watching, calculating. The honey badger doesn't flinch. It never does. It moves fast, grabs the snake firmly behind the head, and forces it away with controlled, deliberate strength. One, handled. It moves on, focused and unhurried, almost as if the encounter was simply an obstacle on a road it had already decided to finish walking. But the ravine is listening, and the ravine is answering. Another appears, then another. From the left, a puff adder uncoils slowly in the dust, its patterned body nearly invisible against the cracked earth. From the right, a mamba descends from a ledge with smooth, deliberate speed, moving like water, finding its level. The honey badger turns, pivots, reacts. It is fast, impressively fast for something built so low to the ground, with short legs and a body that looks more suited to digging than to this kind of sharp, reactive movement. But looks are the most dishonest thing in nature. Speed has a limit. Numbers do not. The first bite lands on its flank. Venom enters the body. A powerful neurotoxin that would severely affect most animals within minutes, shutting down muscle control, slowing the heart, dimming awareness 1 degree at a time. The honey badger slows. Its legs begin to weaken beneath it. It lowers itself to the ground, body trembling slightly, breathing becoming shallow and slow. The snakes hold their positions around it, patient and still, not rushing. They have learned, over thousands of years of evolution, that patience is the most efficient weapon. They simply wait and watch. Most stories end here. This one doesn't. 17 minutes pass. 17 minutes of stillness so complete that the dust settles back across the badger's fur. 17 minutes in which the canyon makes no sound except wind moving through stone. 17 minutes in which any observer would be forgiven for believing it was over. Then a leg stirs. Then another. The honey badger raises its head from the dust like something that simply refused the outcome. Not dramatic, not sudden, just a slow, quiet, absolute refusal. Its body steadies itself gradually. The trembling slows, then stops. The breathing deepens, the eyes clear. The venom that would have overwhelmed any other creature of its size has met something science still finds genuinely remarkable. A biological resistance built into its very cells, shaped over millions of years of living alongside the most venomous animals on Earth. Its receptors do not respond to the toxin the way other animals do. Its system identifies the threat, absorbs the damage, and begins the work of recovery while most animals would still be falling. It does not heal quickly because it is lucky. It heals quickly because it was built for exactly this. It stands up. And the snakes that watched it go down now face something more determined than what they struck. They face something that has already come back from what they gave it. And that fact alone changes the nature of what is about to happen. What follows is not a quiet escape. It is a fierce, focused, and completely unsentimental push through everything the ravine has placed in its way. The honey badger moves through the space with total clarity of purpose. A viper strikes toward its face from a low rock shelf. The badger shifts its head by the smallest necessary margin and deflects the snake with a firm press of its paw. There is no panic in the movement, no wasted energy, just precise, efficient response. Another attempts to find a hold through its thick, loose skin, but the skin shifts and rolls, offering no fixed point, no clean entry. Nature built this animal with that specific challenge in mind, to be tested by exactly this, and to continue through it regardless. The snakes press inward. Attempts come from multiple directions now, overlapping, almost coordinated in the way that nature sometimes mimics strategy without intending to. A strike from above, a lunge from the side. A slow approach from behind that would catch any other animal completely unprepared. But the honey badger does not move like something cornered. It changes direction with sharp, sudden pivots that give nothing away in advance. It uses the canyon walls as surfaces to push off from, gaining angles the snakes cannot immediately adjust to. It moves along the rock faces where the footing is uneven and the snakes lose their positional advantage. It navigates every moment with an instinct sharpened not by this single encounter, but by a lineage of ancestors who survived the same and passed that sharpness forward. Every step has a purpose. Every direction change is a decision. Even when things look scattered from the outside, there is a clear thread of intent running through every movement. A mamba, longer and faster than anything else in the ravine, drops from an overhang and wraps its body around the badger's rear leg, attempting to slow it, to hold it in place long enough for the others to close the distance. The honey badger stops for exactly 1 second. It turns with a speed that seems physically inconsistent with its size. It grips the mamba and pulls free with the kind of force that doesn't come from desperation but from a deep, almost calm certainty about what needs to happen next. It does not slow down. It does not look back at what it just escaped. Ahead, visible now through the narrowing of the canyon walls, there is a gap in the rock face. A crack, barely wide enough, tilted at an angle that would challenge most animals to even attempt. But width is relative when your skin moves the way a honey badger's skin moves. It pushes through, body compressing and adapting to the shape of the opening, claws finding grip in the stone, the walls pressing close on both sides, and then the pressure releases, and it is through. On the other side, open ground stretches out flat and wide under the late afternoon sky. A breeze moves across the surface of the dust. The light has gone golden and low. The canyon behind it is silent. The honey badger stands at the edge of the open ground. Its chest rises and falls steadily. Its body carries the evidence of what it just passed through but does not appear diminished by it. After a moment, it shakes itself off in the simple, complete way that animals reset after hard things. Then it lowers its nose to the ground, picks up a scent on the evening air, and begins walking again. No pause held longer than necessary, no backward glance, no hesitation in the direction of its next step. Just forward. Always forward. This is not simply an unusual animal. The honey badger, Mellivora capensis, represents one of the most genuinely extraordinary examples of survival adaptation found anywhere on Earth. It lives across a vast range that includes sub-Saharan Africa, the Indian subcontinent, and much of the Middle East, occupying desert scrubland, dense forest, open savanna, and rocky mountainous terrain with equal ease. It does not specialize in one environment because it does not need to. It carries its survival with it wherever it goes. Its classification as the world's most fearless animal by the Guinness World Record is not a piece of flattery. It is an observation drawn from documented behavior across decades of wildlife research. Honey badgers have been recorded approaching and engaging animals many times their size when they perceived a threat or an opportunity. They have been observed stealing food from leopards, lions, and hyenas, not by outrunning them, but by simply refusing to be intimidated into giving ground. There is a quality in their behavior that researchers have struggled to categorize neatly, because it sits somewhere between confidence and a complete absence of the fear response that governs most animal behavior. Their skin is the first line of a defense system that has no real equivalent in the animal kingdom at their size. It is thick, dense, and loose in a way that creates a natural buffer between the animal and whatever is trying to harm it. A predator that grabs a honey badger by the scruff is often shocked to find the animal rotating fully inside its own skin to face and engage its attacker directly. Bites that would penetrate deeply on other animals slide or compress against the honey badger's outer layer without reaching vital areas. It is not invulnerable, but it is built to absorb damage that would end other animals and continue functioning through it. The venom resistance is perhaps the most studied and most remarkable aspect of its biology. Honey badgers share a specific genetic adaptation with a small number of other animals, including hedgehogs and certain mongoose species, that modifies the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors in their muscle tissue. These receptors are the primary target of neurotoxic snake venom. In most animals, the venom binds to these receptors and disrupts the signals between the nervous system and the muscles, causing paralysis and eventually organ failure. In the honey badger, the shape of these receptors has changed just enough that the venom cannot bind effectively. The toxin enters the body, encounters a lock it no longer fits, and loses much of its power. The animal still experiences the bite, it still goes down, but it comes back. Field researchers working in Africa and South Asia have documented honey badgers recovering from bites that would be fatal to domestic dogs, wild canines, and even some large cat species. The recovery time varies depending on the venom type and the volume delivered, but the pattern is consistent. The animal goes still, time passes, the animal gets up, it continues. Beyond their physical resilience, honey badgers are cognitively remarkable in ways that are still being studied. They have been observed using tools, specifically rocks and sticks, to climb over barriers in captivity. They have demonstrated problem-solving behavior in structured tests that places them among a small group of non-primate animals capable of working through novel challenges. They have also shown a persistent memory for territory, food sources, and the locations of threats, navigating large home ranges with a mental map that researchers estimate can cover hundreds of square kilometers in the wild. They are not purely aggressive animals. That characterization, while understandable given their behavior when threatened, misses the quieter reality of most of their lives. The majority of a honey badger's time is spent foraging, resting, investigating, and moving through its territory with a focused curiosity that looks, in calmer moments, almost playful. They eat a wide range of food, including insects, small mammals, reptiles, bird eggs, roots, and fruit. They dig with a speed and efficiency that is startling to watch, capable of excavating a deep burrow in minutes when they choose to. They are highly adaptable not just physically but behaviorally, shifting their patterns based on food availability, season, and the presence of other predators. What the honey badger represents in the broader story of wildlife is something worth sitting with for a moment. It is not the largest animal in any ecosystem it inhabits. It is not the fastest. It does not have the most powerful venom or the sharpest claws relative to its competition. What it has is a totality of design that makes it exceptionally difficult to stop. Every system in its body, from its skin to its blood chemistry to its nervous system to its cognitive processing, has been shaped by millions of years of pressure into something that does not give up easily. Something that gets up when it should stay down. Something that walks into the narrow canyon when everything around it suggests turning back. In the wild, most survival stories are about the right animal being in the right place at the right moment with the right advantage. The honey badger's story is different. Its story is about what happens when an animal is built to keep going, regardless of the moment, regardless of the place, regardless of what the numbers or the odds or the venom or the canyon says should happen next. The sun finishes its descent. The open ground ahead of the honey badger fills with the long shadows of evening. Somewhere ahead, there is food. Somewhere ahead, there is the next thing this animal will face and handle and move past. It doesn't know what it is yet. It doesn't need to. It is already walking toward it. In the wild, endurance is rarely about size. It is rarely about speed or strength or even intelligence taken alone. Sometimes, it belongs entirely to the one that simply will not stop moving forward. And in that quality, quiet and absolute and completely without performance, the honey badger has no equal.